Hello everyone, welcome back. So first things first, I'm going to be wearing this bow on my hair because my hair was just not cooperating at all. So today I partnered with Vanity Planet to bring you this drugstore makeup tutorial. I'm using their vegan brush roll, which is made out of ultra soft premium vegan brush hair, which basically means there's no animal cruelty involved in the creating of these brushes, and they are shed free and allergen free, which is pretty cool. Now make sure you check the description box down below because I do have a huge discount code for these brushes. So to both moisturize my skin and prime my skin, I'm using the Embryolisse 24-hour miracle cream. Now I'm not 100% sure if this is actually sold in drugstores, but I know that it's really affordable, so I'm just going to consider this a drugstore product because it's so good and so affordable, and you all need to get on it. For eyebrows, I'm using the Makeup Revolution store pomade in the color chocolate. This is a tiny bit warm for me, but nonetheless, I just built it up and made it work. And I'm using the angled brush that comes in the kit to apply it, which also just worked amazing. So to clean up my brows, I usually use the Tarte Shape Tape, but since this is a drugstore tutorial, I tried out the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in shade 20, and you know what guys, it worked just as good. And then to prep my eyes, I'm also using the Maybelline Fit Me. And then I'm just using the Coty Airspun to lock it all in place, so we're ready for eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow, I found this Nico K eyeshadow palette for $5. Look how pigmented that is. I found this on beautyjoan.com, which is where I get so much of my drugstore makeup, and you guys, I was so impressed with the pigment. Now you'll see, like as I'm blending in, it is the tiniest bit patchy, but it's nothing that you can't sort of just like build up on and get your desired intensity. So I used a total of 3 shades, and this is kind of like a soft cut crease smoky eye I'm doing. Well, it's not a cut crease, but like a soft cut crease. And I went in with a really warm shade, and now I'm just going in with a shade a little bit cooler, and then now I'll just grab a slightly darker brown, which is the coolest shade. So I kind of like transitioned from warm to cool to make it look nice and gradient, and obviously darker as it gets more defined in the crease. And then you just want to, of course, make sure you're blending it all together. Now what I like to do with a lot of my looks is use like a white or a cream eyeshadow to highlight my brow bone, and also blend it down into the transition color so it gives a nice gradient blend up towards the eyebrow. So basically what I mean by a soft cut crease is that instead of using a concealer, I'm just using a white pigmented eyeshadow to kind of create that definition on the lid like you just saw in that photo, which is from my bridal shower and obviously from Snapchat. So if you don't follow me on Snapchat, I'll list it down here so that you guys can follow me and see all the makeup looks I do in my day-to-day life. So now that I've applied that white shadow, I'm just blending the crease all together, and that is it for eyeshadow. And now we're moving on to eyeliner, and for eyeliner I'm using the oh so famous NYC liner in, I think it's called Intense Black or something black. There is 2 types of black, and this one's like the blacker black. And then I just like to grab any makeup wipe and clean up any messy bits of eyeliner and eyeshadow around my eye. To coat my lashes, I use the Jordana Best Lash Extreme. And instead of using mink lashes, I decided to double the Ardell Foam Mink Lashes and the Creme Demi Wispies to create that really full lash look. On the picture you saw, I was wearing mink lashes, but since I'm using vegan brushes for this look, I thought it was fitting to also use vegan lashes to go with the flow. And there's my lashes. So for foundation, I tried another really famous product, the Wet n Wild Photo Ready, and because it's so liquidy, I was like, okay, I better shake that. But oh my god, for $5.99, this foundation was, oh my god, what can I compare it to? It honestly kind of reminds me of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Now, I know that really hurts to hear because that is such a high-end expensive foundation, but I think it's actually good because if you don't want to spend the money on that, you can definitely get a similar finish with this $5.99 foundation. Now, the one thing I noticed about this is that it is kind of like a medium coverage, but it is buildable. So you'll see now on my chin, you can still see my little blemish there, and you can also still see my beauty spot above my lip. But I actually really like that about the foundation because it cancels out any darkness and discoloration on your face. But if you do want to step it up that notch and go for severe full coverage, all you have to do is build up on it, which I did, and I was just so impressed with the outcome. So basically, you can do anything with this foundation, which I think is amazing for $5.99. So for concealer, I'm using my favorite drugstore concealer ever, the Maybelline Age Rewind, and I use the color Light. And I don't know if you can see, but I was literally right at the end of this tube. So I was on like the last little like twist up of the product, which means I have to go and buy a new one now. But I don't mind because for the price of it, it's just such good value and such a good product. And it's one product that I definitely always just go back and buy over and over. So to blend my concealer, I did it in a really different way to what I usually do, and I used the foundation brush, and I love how seamlessly it blended out the concealer. It kept every single bit of the coverage. Usually, like sometimes you use a particular brush and it'll eat up some of the product, but because this is a synthetic brush, it doesn't soak up your makeup, which is what I loved most.